Welcome back to the Inexorables, everybody. Last time we had a couple meetings with Lycus. He's dying. Pax is dead. We're going to Suno with all the special nobles, and we're not allowed on the party boat. And we have somehow wormed our companions onto the boat that we are allowed onto. So that's cool. Other than that, lots of people, lots of things, and lots of magical shit happening in the background. I don't know. Zach keeps referencing things that happened in this world that everyone else has context about, and I don't because I'm the newest player to his world. So every time Thomas is like, "Oh, you talk about this guy," it's like, "Yeah, man." It's like, what are you guys talking about? So it's kind of awkward hearing about all these events and then nobody giving any context. But that's just how it is. Yeah.
Hey, it is realistic to your character. You don't know shit that's going on.
Pretty much. I think Linen is actually the youngest person in this party.
Well, yeah, the
I
rest of
think
us are
Lynn is.
elves.
The rest of them are
God.
elves of
Goddamn
one form or another. You are probably a quarter the age of the youngest person
Goddamn.
outside of you.
And I guess another point to at least some stuff with Rikus is that some of that is his backstory stuff. So, at least in some instances, the rest of us are just in the dark as you are.
Yeah. So, as Zach kind of pointed out, like is flippin' dying. Attempting to cast Wish apparently 3 times in the span of approximately a week, which is an incredible feat in and of itself, being able to do that and not get crippled. But he can no longer do that. So he's searching for other ways to try and make the plan with the Vox and possibly giving them a home in Carceri to work, particularly working with the Orgas Mago.
It gave him magic cancer, and I was gonna sell magic meth.
Yeah, isn't he effectively crippled?
He is effectively magically crippled. A little bit physically as well.
A little bit.
A little bit. He's got cancer. He's got arcane cancer. It's great.
With that arcane chemotherapy, man.
Yep. So
What's the equivalent to that?
what's the equivalent of arcane chemotherapy? Probably some kind of druidic magic, I would assume.
Damn, too bad none of us are druids.
Yep, too bad none of y'all are druids. So yeah, having convinced or wormed your way into allowing some of your buddies to come along with, there's a series of NPCs that are your guys' friends who will be joining you on the sister of the spine's sister. That's the ship's name. Along with the rest of the noble and high life people who will be going on the Star of Revedan, sailing in the morning. However, that is not where we begin our session. We begin our session with dropping off a drunk-ass Leopold back at his house.
Oh yeah.
As
Yes.
Edmund and the Anadeus brothers, which I want to spend a little bit of time on this, but not too much, so don't go too deep. If you have something you want to talk about in this conversation, get to it quickly. But we begin as you guys are walking through the alleyways, just whimsical music coming from the taverns down the street from Leopold's abode. You guys find that the lights are actually still on, the candles are still lit inside of his household. And as you step up and knock on the door, Yvonne does open the door, and there is a dwarven man sitting on one of the couches surrounding this little coffee table in the living room. And Yvonne kind of...
Leopold?
and Yvonne kind of looks at Leopold and says, "Dear heavens, how drunk did you get him, Rikus?"
That is almost entirely my own fault. Don't blame
I'll believe
Rikus
that
where he
as
doesn't
well.
deserve it. Blame him when he does deserve it.
Well, I can blame him regardless. Either way, you need
I
to
told
go
you
to
I would
see-
take care of him.
We lost a
Insight.
good friend.
My sincere condolences. Either way,
Thank you.
Leopold. Theobald made it. I doubt you're in much of a condition to speak about your whatever is you boys talk about.
I'm sure Theobald would like me absolutely fine in this state. Right.
As
we come in,
go ahead, Thomas.
as we come in, I'm gonna kind of motion to Edmund to kind of set Leopold down on the bench in the entryway, and where I'm gonna start taking off Leopold's shoes, and then I'm gonna take off my shoes and kind of notion to Edmund to do the same, so we don't track mud all the way up to his room.
You see Edmund look down at his boots, and then look over at the other feet of the people here, and just shake his head and begin unlacing his boots.
Leo will help with the unlacing of his boots. Definitely like half as fast as you're doing it, and like, look, I have sobered up,
knife.
Right? This you don't need to choose this in such regards. But thank you for doing so earlier in the evening.
As you guys are unlacing his boots, you hear the clink of some like metal trinkets and items just clinking into others as this dwarven man kind of gets up from the couch and walks over to Leopold, and you see him just stand there and look Leopold up and down for a moment and say, "You haven't been this drunk for quite a while."
Extenuating circumstances, my dear Theobald, and I will enlighten you momentarily. I just need
Enlighten
to...
me in the morning, friend. You need to get some rest.
Pops the boot off. You are probably very right in that regard. He will turn to the assembled drinking party. Ardeus brothers, Edmund, thank you for the assistance in getting me home, but I believe I can handle things from here.
I want to see him stand up and try to walk up the stairs.
He's not walking up the stairs quite yet, but Leo can walk. It's just gonna be at like, maybe one step every 5 seconds.
Damn, that's slow.
Dexterity saving throw.
As Edmund is still unlacing his boots, Theobald says, "Well, all right. My name's Theobald. Nice to meet you. Anadias brothers." He holds his hand out to shake. As he does, you notice particularly Rikus, as he goes to shake your hand, under his arm, kind of like an armpit holster, he does have a pistol. That as he goes to shake your hand.
Bam. Nice to meet you.
I'm leaning way forward from the doorway. I haven't taken my shoes off, so I'm just standing there.
Leopold has talked a great deal with you.
Certainly only the bad things.
Oh, always.
Right.
Well, either way, our goal here was to get Leopold safely tucked away. We are taking off our boots in case we do need to assist him getting up those stairs.
I'll be fine getting up the stairs.
I'm waiting for the thuds.
Leopold has stepped up the third stair.
Leopold also just kind of looks over. Taking the over or the under on 5 steps.
Over. He's strong.
I'll take the under.
I've
seen him I've seen him break the nose on the 5th step before.
You know, I think I'm gonna have to go under on this one. What about you, Edmund?
Edmund just kind of looks over and says, "You are a fascinating bunch of people. I think he makes it to the 10th step, but I also think he fractures his skull on the way down."
Is that a double or nothing?
No, I'm not putting any money on this. I don't know the man. So Leopold, I'd like you to make a
you're
dexterity
about
check
to.
at disadvantage as you go up the stairs.
Let me remember what my dexterity score is. I mean, I have a +4. No specific skills that would really help. That is. I forgot to add my modifier to that. It's been a while since I've rolled in Forge, and that also just totaled them together.
That is fine.
Oops.
So it
But
would
that
have
is
been
an
a 4,
8.
so it would have been an 8.
Plus 4 is 8.
So you get to the 8th step. So taking the over, you guys can decide amongst yourselves how much gold you want to put on there. Actually, Theovold will flip each of you guys a single gold piece and say, and it's not you like fall down the stairs when it happens. You just kind of slip and catch yourself on the railing and just kind of hold the railing the rest of the way up.
I do see why the 5th step would be a problem. It is slightly larger, but
Yeah.
gotta hand it to Leopold. Good job.
Yvonne,
you're
does he
Mabel.
need help?
Yvonne
Oh.
is. Go ahead, Leopold.
While I'm thinking about it, Theovold, Yvonne, we will be leaving a little early in the morning. What time did Lycus say? Was it
We'll
8:30?
fill them in, Leopold. We'll fill them in, make it to bed.
Thank you. And you will continue up the stairs.
Yvonne is just looking over and then looking back at you guys. You all are the best of the worst friends.
Oh, always.
That's about right.
You're
you
lucky
need
this
any
wasn't the
food?
barracks.
We have some leftovers from the evening. Me and
Um,
Theobold had some pork.
Actually, we came here because we were going to, well, one, drop off Leopold, and two, we're going to make our next set of rounds. We're wondering if you and your esteemed guest here might be interested.
They kind of look at each other.
It's on us, of course. We just got our payday for their last missions, so.
Yvonne's going to say, I believe someone, at least one of us, should stay here and look after Leopold, just in case there's anything. I would hate for him to drown in his own vomit.
You know, I might know
Milo.
a guy.
Who drowned in his own vomit?
The babysitter.
No. And I'm gonna radio. I'm gonna put my hand up to my ear. I'm just gonna like Rocky over to Lynn and say, "Hey, Lynn, can you meet us over at the at Leopold's estate real quick?"
Linden is like leaving.
Lennon is leaving the Martha and Gerald's house right now.
Perfect.
It's like, what? Doing what? Hello?
Yes, Leopold. It is of an urgent matter. We need you to head to the Lennoxon estate.
You
Linen.
called the wrong number. This is Linen.
Sorry, Linen. That's what I meant.
I don't
You have numbers?
know where his Leopold's house is.
You've been over there.
Yes,
I
you
have
do.
been. I have.
He
been,
has
but-
no memory retention.
No. I have been there, but the only time Linen's been there is when Sakir dragged
Oh,
his
get him.
back awake.
Hold on. It's 2 blocks north of Dragoness Street, and it is the third estate to the right off of. Oh, what was that street again? And I look up at
Yvonne says, it is Duchess Street.
yes, the third estate to the right on Duchess.
Is that the one? Is that the one next to the dormitory or next to the really posh library?
Neither.
The
Oh dear.
no.
This is hopeless. You're not going to be able to guide him. I'll go get him.
Just-
he thinks
just-
that
just
when
head-
something's on
head
plan,
north
the
on
address
Dragoness.
has to be- have the root of it. It's complicated stuff.
Sakir will come pick you up.
So
along the way.
Sakir, you have no clue where Martha and Gerald's house is. You've never been there.
And he can't really tell me where it is because he doesn't know direction. All right, I'm gonna play Marco Polo with Linen to try to get to his place. How long does that take?
Meanwhile, Edmund and Rikus are just chilling out, making sure that Leopold actually does make it to bed.
Okay, you guys don't seem to understand or are about to understand the grand scale of Revedan. You guys are a 25-minute walk from each other right now.
Oh,
Can we just
10:30.
can we just time skip and get us here? Get Lynn in here.
Also, I was
we
gonna say, Leonard's a Ganasa. He needs to actually sleep, unlike the rest of us elves.
Yeah. Like, he actually needs to be going to bed, like, now, to be able to get
I'll
his
just
long rest.
sleep on the boat, I guess.
You guys have to roll d20s until you get matching numbers, and that's how long.
As you guys are saying, as you guys are doing
Lennon
all
can
of this,
sleep in his room on the chair.
Yvonne just says, "It is all right. You are welcome, Theobald. You are welcome to go out and have drinks with them. I am not well kept enough to go out this evening already. I've had my fill of alcohol."
more people drive from drunk walking than drunk driving.
Not many people
well,
drive carts or horses around when they're going to... Never mind. Regardless, if you need some bread or water at the end of your time, you're welcome. I don't know what tavern you're going to, but if you need to come back at any point, you're welcome to. I will keep the lights on and some food on the kitchen table.
Cool. Well then,
I radio Lennon one more time and say, Lennon, do you know that one spell that sobers people?
No, but I do know gust now, so I can control wind if that helps.
no.
Oh.
Man.
Thanks for the suggestion.
Oh wait, no.
Although you
I
might want to whip up a concoction for hangovers.
Wait a second, I have guidance. I can just luck my way over to Leopold's house.
No.
That's not how that works.
No. If you really want to be a part of this, you can meet them at a tavern halfway between you guys.
I don't even
Not
know if
the tavern?
he knows how to
Drink.
get home, I'll be quite honest.
Yeah, I was
No.
gonna say, Lennon might take some time just to get back to his apartment.
Yeah, Lennon would probably go back to the academy and then go back to the apartment because that's probably the only way he knows how to get back.
I will be honest, that is how Sakir wanted to end the evening, is at the apartment. He was kind of just doing courtesy, bringing Leopold home. He wants to actually get reading those books.
Okay, so with that,
Bye.
Yvonne's gonna stay with Leopold. Lennon's trying to find his way back to the apartment. Theobald, Edmund, and the Anadeus brothers. Are you still wanting to go out for drinks? Sakir, are you gonna join them?
Yeah. Look, if it's any consolation, I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunities to get drunk with Yvonne and Suno.
I was gonna say there will be.
Yes,
opportunities.
I will turn to Yvonne and say, well, we'll have to extend the offer when we're in Suno.
Speaking of Suno.
You ought to get to know the party of...
I certainly do
these
not.
shitheads.
However, I am open to the opportunity.
These shitheads are taking care of old Leopold, so... well, if you change your mind tonight, we'll be at the bar about 4 blocks to the west.
She kind of looks at you and then looks at Sakir. I'm sure you do take care of him. Regardless, have a good evening, Rikus. And she's going to begin beckoning you guys out the door. Edmund, who had just finished untying his boots, immediately begins
Has
lacing
to.
them back up.
I have Velcro boots.
Velcro has not been invented yet, brother.
Damn it. Well, I do the quick tie knot, so
So,
which is a military
you
screw.
guys go down. Are you trying to go to a place right around the corner? Or are you going to a place you know better?
I'm wanting to do some more research.
Edmund and I know a fair amount of the taverns in Riverdan. You know,
Sakir.
this is our home base, so
I will, when we start on our way, I'll turn to Rikus and say, I'm wanting to get back to do some more research at some point this evening. I've not given up on Pax. We keep saying that our friend has died, and though he certainly has, there's a non-zero chance that we can get him back, and I'm looking where I can to find someone who can do that for us.
Rikus pauses for a brief moment and, like stone cold sober, puts his hand on his brother's shoulder and say, "Brother, we all mourn in our own ways. Do as you wish."
He's gonna sigh and say, "All right, you have fun getting drunk."
Yeah, Edmund and I are gonna go to the place like 3-4 blocks to the west. It's one of the ones we know of.
So you, Edmund, and
So-
Theobald are gonna go out out over there. We're gonna keep this.
Yeah,
short.
and as we're walking over there, I'm gonna radio Wayne and say, "Hey, meet us over here."
Wayne also taking care
First
of
round's on me.
No.
There's just a busy tone.
What elevator
What?
music does Wayne have as his waiting tone?
Doop 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 doop.
Justice. Do do
Uh,
do do.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
Wayne provide a response, or does he just?
Nah.
Nah. All right. So you get no response from Wayne.
Well, I guess we get to know the esteemed guest here, but we don't have to RP that, so it's okay.
I was gonna say, me and you can talk about this discussion at a later date, since it's just you with some
Yeah.
NPCs.
We
Summarize
talked a lot about firearms.
is yeah, we'll talk a lot about firearms. Edmund also uses firearms, you know. But we'll talk a lot about firearms, and we'll Edmund and I will catch up on things, you know, the missions that we've done so far and the hiccups we've had and everything along the way. And then yeah, we'll listen to what's his face's sales pitches and everything like that. So
Yeah, Theobald
I
absolutely
wonder-
does try and sell you guys some stuff.
I wonder what kind of crazy love triangle polycule Edmund, Theobald, and Editark would get into.
That would be a very interesting conversation that I am not going to RP with myself. Regardless, so one thing I do want to see RP before we go to bed is secure. When you get home, Lennon has been there for a very short period of time. Like, he beat you home barely. So you guys probably catch each other before you run off into your rooms. As you're getting home with your books, do you guys say anything to each other, or do you just relegate each other to your research?
I look over at his door because I did, if you recall, 2 sessions ago, set a plate of food outside of his door, and then we ran from there straight somewhere else. Leopold's? No, I think to the academy, and then we're back again. And I think that food is now molding outside.
It's not been
On the floor
it's
now.
not been
Doesn't
that
mold
long.
that fast.
No, it's
It's
not.
cold.
I was gonna say it's cold.
Hold on.
Yeah,
You
it's been
guys
less.
only got here yesterday.
Let me
That's
do
true.
let me do a perception check to see if Lennon notices. I'll say any 10 or higher he does. He does.
Hey.
So
Wow.
you walk in on him, and he's just
Exactly.
he's just staring at this plate of food on the floor. It's like, who left this here? And that's what
Do you
want.
still want that?
I mean, I'll have a bit. I mean, if you want it, you can have it. Where did this come from?
I made it for you this morning. I knocked on your door and everything, and you didn't answer.
What? This morning, we've been here for like 5 hours. We got here in the evening, like afternoon.
Yeah, it was lunch. My bad. Yeah.
Oh,
You go ahead and take it. I'm not super
mean-
hungry
I
myself.
mean, you can you can have a bit of it.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
going to sleep after this.
If you insist.
Yeah. There's no use
We-
just using hands.
Yeah, there's more in the pantry if you need it.
How's that?
I want to let
holding
you.
up?
I want to let you know. I am doing research. I want to tell you a little of the research I'm doing.
Oh,
It is
okay.
on surrounding families and on kingdoms and any high wizards, druids of the sort that might have some sort of spell that can resurrect packs.
You could probably you could probably ask around the college. They might have more connections to people if you're looking for wizards and such.
Yes, that was the next thing. I really want this done, and while I would say that before I met you, I would say research is one of my strengths. But you blow me away with how well you do this sort of thing. So,
Worse than
what do you say we do an exchange, and maybe I help you out a little bit with whatever you're doing, and you can help me.
All right. I mean, I'm not opposed. It, not like what I do is secret or anything. So sure.
Awesome. What have you been doing the last few days? Well, hours here, I guess.
Well, it's about the cult. The cult of the Fourth Claw. Professor Lycus mentioned it earlier, but I'm kind of the son of the leader of a cult back in Kundura. So I was looking into some old connections that might get some more info. Yeah. Family situation's kind of funny when you think about it.
Huh.
But yeah, from basic knowledge though, it's like because Pax was sacrificed on a cult altar, that
Yeah.
means his soul is effectively being gatekept by whatever greater being took that soul essence. So regular resurrection might not cut it.
Right.
So
That's unfortunate.
trying to look into less scientific means, or I guess not scientific, less studied means of reacquiring that.
Yes, it seems that maybe helping you with what you're doing, studying the cult specifically, I am interested in this altar. What we can do to somehow reverse the process.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah,
they
I'll help you with what you're doing. I'll drop what I'm doing. It doesn't seem like it's leading anywhere.
I mean, certainly
need help?
I mean, certainly combining magics will never have a negative effect on anything ever. Certainly, using multiple sources cannot go wrong. Especially that altar where it seemed to combine. Oh yeah, I didn't explain that. So I went up onto that altar. Almost died up there, but before I went down,
Yes,
I
you
saw that. Before I went down, I almost I saw multiple schools of magic, in multiple runes from multiple schools of magic inscribed onto the altar. So it might not actually be a bad call to look into different wizards and schools of magics to see if there's anything
Alright.
we can do from that.
Well, yes. Then I'll keep the books. I
Wait,
hope
you
that's
took
all right with the
book?
library. Yeah.
Might not be. They have return dates on them, you know.
Yeah, I glanced at them. We should be fine. As long as I keep the bloodstains off of it. You have prejudice, whatever it's called, right?
Not
You don't-
anymore. No.
Okay, I'll have to buy some bleach then. Yeah.
Oh, you
So
don't use
I'll return them on time.
Oh dear.
You have predestination, right?
The predestination, right? Prejudicitation.
No, when I die, my soul is most likely being consumed to the spirit of the wind. In all honesty.
What?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay. Do you say that in character?
That will be relevant later.
That will be relevant later. Why do you think I know so many random wind and air-based magic, even though I'm obviously an inferior sorcerer?
Oogie. Okay, so definitely, Fakir will help you out. will take any offload that you're willing to do, and if you're wanting to get sleep, Secure will work in the hours that you will be sleeping.
Alright. Well, I don't. Fortunately, don't have too much on the cult stuff right now, but we do have that Varus note we can work on.
Yes, you guys do. And I will
Which I've
note-
made some progress on in the past.
I will note to you, Linen, it does not seem to be in the exact same shorthand and script that the previous note was. So it's not like you already have made a translation before it's going to take a shorter period of time this time. It does actually seem to be in a different shorthand.
Oh boy.
Oh, darn it.
Well, we've got that, so we could do that if you want.
I can give it a whirl.
Alright. Let's figure.
How should we split these roles? How many hours would you be able to stay awake? I think it's 0. I think you need to sleep right away.
What time do we have to be at the boat?
You have to be at the water gate at 9 a.m., which is a gate that leads down to the Riverside docks of Revenant.
Okay, is it 1 a.m. right now?
It's like
no, it's like 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
We
have
can go
2
like
hours.
Yeah. We can go like
Yeah.
2 hours.
You do know you have to wake up and walk to get there, right?
Fuck.
How far is it? The city's kind of big.
The city is very large. It is on the far western end of the city.
Okay,
And
30 minutes.
the I should. Do I have the map here on the table? I do not. I need to get it on the table. I have the map of Revedan made.
Well, then you have like an hour.
Then you have
guess.
like an hour. Yeah.
DM, how fast would it be if I were to float over to the port?
Not much faster.
Because
Are
I
there
have
taxis?
I have levitate and gust, so
My
I could just
gosh.
fly.
You would get some goofy ass looks.
He would just like Linen would just like starfish his way over there too.
I feel
Just
like that is absolutely true. He would.
It's not like a superhero thing at all. You're just like
No.
splayed out.
Yeah. He's just learned these spells, man. He doesn't know how to use them.
For
All right,
you guys
you-
studying together, either one of you can give the other advantage, or you can both make a roll.
What would
Alright.
the roll be?
You are attempting to translate something, so I would consider this. I'd probably just say a flat intelligence roll. Either that, or I could allow you to use like your investigation, but the DC would be a little bit higher.
What? My int's at +3. What are you at? Secure.
For investigation.
Okay, so in intelligence, saving
or
throw, or just
Investigation
intel-
roll.
Just a roll.
Yeah, my intelligence is +3. My investigation is +6. I have advantage on Fae Fiends or Undead. I don't know if that applies. Languages I know are Celestial, Common, Elvish, Infernal.
Yeah.
I would like to note that bonus on Fake Beads or Undead is specifically for tracking.
Yeah.
Okay, then it wouldn't.
I mean,
No, it's to recall information.
Oh, yes, and
I don't
Nice.
really know if those count as recall information.
I mean,
yeah.
we could.
Maybe if like, oh, I know this is a kind of shorthand that they use, kind of thing, but it wouldn't really apply because these guys are really old and they're.
DM said it's just flat roll, so both our +3s apply, I guess. So
I think it might be we both just have a +3. Then yeah, do guidance. Give yourself
Yeah.
guidance.
slap a guidance, and then am I rolling or you want to roll?
I guess it is recall information.
Probably. It just makes sense that for me to. I would usually say you roll, but probably it makes sense for me to roll, and then
Yeah, because you're
then
at
I'd
longer.
continue going into the night.
Yeah. Alright, advantage and +1d4.
Sweet advantage plus D4 rolling.
Ooh,
Alright.
there you go.
17.
All right, you guys are able to make some pretty good progress. You are not able to solve it, but I will give.
Guys, I rolled above a 10.
Oh my gosh.
It can happen. It's possible.
Yeah.
I will give this to you. I'll give you guys the first sentence.
Ooh. I've come to make an announcement.
I've come. Prepare for my arrival, worm. So, the first beginning sentence that immediately confuses you says, "Hello, Linen. I hope you've enjoyed deciphering this letter."
Lynn is like asleep right now.
Linen's just like barely awake, just like, I need to go to bed.
You got this, Secure.
He's gonna have to address the next one to Secure now.
We have
No,
Rex.
let's not. Let's not let him know that I'm doing this as well. Okay. Yeah, I'll continue into the night. So that's another. I need to sleep for what is it, 4 hours as an elf?
Yes, for your type.
Okay, so in that case, that's an. What would that be? Because we just did 2 hours, so 5 hours. Do you have 5 hours to do more?
Well, if you guys just did 2 hours, you've probably got another.
Oh, we did 1 hour.
You've got like, I would say 3 to 4. Let's be realistic. You're not going to work all the way to the second you have to leave. You are
Okay.
probably going to take some time for food and other stuff. If
Yeah.
you want to roll another one that's just flat, just you, you're welcome to, because you will probably get farther than that.
Yeah. 3 to 4 hours. Just straight roll.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, wait a second. That other one that was a 17. That was without my modifier, so that was a dirty 20, by the way.
Okay. Same thing.
Not that it should change anything, but yeah. So I'm gonna actually add that this time. 1d20 plus 3. I don't have my guidance because he's asleep. Hey! I rolled better!
You rolled better.
22.
He's actually rolling good. It's actually possible, Chad.
Oh yeah, I gotta click my button.
Secure is like the sleeper
Guys, I
researcher.
rolled above a 10.
Alright. You are able to fully decipher the first paragraph. It is a very short paragraph. I'm going to send it to you. It is not much more than what I've already let you know. But you're making your way through it slowly.
Okay. Sweet. I'll put it on the chat. Sweet. All right. That'll be my evening. Then I go to bed, and then I'm ready to wake up whenever everyone else is ready.
Yep. So, as we wake up, everybody's waking up in their different places. I'm gonna ask Rikus, do you think Edmund would have crashed at your place?
There's a fair chance I have a spare bed.
So, Edmund crashed at your place. We have Linen and Secure who are gonna come in at their point. We have Wayne and Percy who are going to be showing up at one point, and then Yvonne, Theobald, and Leopold showing up at separate times. I would like everyone to roll me a D10. We're gonna see which group gets there first.
I rolled a d10.
Just a flat D10.
Just a flat D10.
I rolled a 7. Ooh, 2 sevens.
Oh,
Okay, we both rolled a 7. Let's go,
let's
Lennon.
go.
Without making so much sense, since you guys would be arriving together anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's worked out. It's worked out. I like to think that you didn't go to your bed. We were both just at your desk, and you were
Yeah.
just sleeping there
We
on
don't
a
even
pillow
have
that
any-
you already have there.
No, we don't even have any furniture because we didn't unpack.
Oh,
You guys
yeah, that's
didn't
true.
unpack yet.
I think
They've
We had,
probably
like, a
evicted
car.
everything in there at this point. No, you guys moved a lot of it over, didn't you?
Yeah, so our couch is a big wooden box with a couch in it.
yeah, like all our furniture are just in boxes. Like we don't- like whose stuff is this? I don't know.
Yeah, no, we sit on the boxes, but we just haven't opened them and built the things in them to sit on.
Yeah. So, you guys wake up secure. You kind of show Lennon what progress you've made. You probably made some eggs or something. Blood infused, of course. And
Me.
yeah.
Lynn would
and
eat the blood.
Lennon
Doesn't
would
care.
eat the blood just to test it.
Yeah.
Lennon a cannibal as well, confirmed? Question mark.
No, not yet.
So
Not long though.
you guys wake up fairly early. You're able to wake up at about 8, and you guys immediately eat, pack your notes, and get out of there and begin moving. You guys are also, or you guys have a bit of a straighter shot than most others. As you're like right on the edge of that sector of the city anyway. So you guys immediately get up, walk through the ginormous warehouse district to get to the other side of the city and make your way through the Watergate. You guys probably get there early, like significantly early, maybe even 15 to 20 minutes early. And you guys see that while the Watergate does have the usual hustle and bustle at this point, due to the festivals happening either here in Revedan or up in Suno, a lot of that has kind of moved inside of the city at this point. There's still a lot of movement, but you're past the beginning morning rush of the day. So you guys are making your way out, and you guys are waved down by Ernest, as he and Lycus are standing a fair ways out from one of the docks, kind of in this open, grassy area, and Ernest kind of waves you down to come on over to them. And you guys also see Gendo standing there beside them.
Oh. What a rare sight.
So as you guys approach, Lycus kind of nods to you and good morning. It is good to see that you have arrived a little early.
One. It does.
That's
It
us.
does. It does help that I have a roommate to wake me up on time.
Yes,
I see how it
punctuality was
is.
never your strong suit.
Yeah.
Rip.
But hey.
Yes. Have the others rung in? Should I call them, make sure they aren't still sleeping?
I have not been rung yet, but you are a fair bit early.
That's true. Rikus might be hungover. Is my only concern.
He is more than
I
likely.
did tell Lynn.
hungover.
I did tell Lennon to brew up a hangover concoction.
Whoops.
He
I
didn't.
mean, considering we're elves, like we probably have I don't know, maybe a little bit higher because we can sleep it off faster, you know.
Wait, I was there when
Elves
you
have
told them
never
that.
been known for their constitution. You
I got
were
it.
there.
Oh, I got an idea.
Yeah. I didn't expect to see Gendo here. Is he coming with us to Suno?
Gendo says, "No, sadly I will not be joining to the City of the Sun. I am merely here to say my goodbyes."
Oh, you're heading back up to the Caladrian Empire then? Not Caladrian, the Katanet Empire. My bad. Up to the Iron Hills.
Yes, I see no reason to stay in this place for an extended period of time. Not when any people who would have been giving me the title of guest would not be here.
There. Well, if you see the horde, well, when you meet up with the horde again, let them know we said hey.
I will let them know of your greeting terms.
All right.
He kind of says, "My hope is that the rigid horde is truthful in their words of change. I hear the Katanet Empire is one of extreme slavery. This is
That is
an
true.
abhorrent to my culture."
Yeah. It's a whole political thing going on because of that right now.
Yes. Lycus here proposed to me a contract of sorts that I could not promise to.
That's fair. I mean, you're still figuring yourself out in this world, right?
He says, I will find my place among the horde under the stars in the Dern Hills. If it so be the case that this Khatanate Empire is as vast and evil as it is said, I believe I will find myself among their cities and burning their villages.
Oh dear.
Well, I wish you good fun in that.
It is
I
not
will say,
about fun. It is about honor.
I agree. That is the saying. That is the saying. It is to be said in jest. We are all very aware that you're not going there for the fun, but it is ironic for someone to go for the fun. So, making fun of that.
I will
It's
tear
not
the
learned irony.
divine-born asunder.
Amen. And you still have a sending stone for us to contact you. Is that
Yes.
something that you
He
still?
pulls it out of his pocket and holds it out to you. I intended on
This is
returning
fucking
it.
ways. I wouldn't mind you keeping it if you want to stay in touch with us, but I will say that we would most honestly be bugging you more than you would like. So
That is more than not the reason to return it. While I hope our paths cross again, I see it not necessary in either of our futures.
Still, it's
nice,
been
Leo.
a
Nice, Leo.
still it's been a fruitful connection to have, at least. That's not the correct term.
No. The stars have shone upon us and borne great majesty upon it.
Ooh, that's a good one. Should write that down for later.
So as you guys are saying this, Leopold and his registry are kind of making their way out of the Watergate, and you guys kind of walk over. You guys note Leopold kind of a little bit more keen an eye to the noble spheres around. You are also able to note the small but growing conglomerate of very well-dressed people off to the side, in which, as you kind of step up looking over, Lennon, you also kind of look over, and you actually see Polkar among this crowd of nobles over there, and are immediately like, so he's coming along. But yeah, Lennon, so as you roll up with Yvonne and Theovold, is there anything you say as you introduce into this situation?
I'd be rather surprised by Gendo showing up, so, I didn't expect to see you here, Gendo. Will you be joining us in Suno, or?
No, I will be saying my adieus and making my way across the lands and under the stars, back up to the Iron Hills.
Well, I hope you find your time there to be fruitful, if nothing else, and if they ever leave your fancy, then I'm sure you'll always have a home here in Rodan.
Yes.
At least as long as the Inexorables are here.
The City of the Stars has treated me well, aside from the first evening where I was not under them. Regardless, it is an intriguing place, but there are too many people here.
Yes, there are.
It is such as a
can agree on
flock
that.
of hens when there is only one cock.
I was going to suggest earlier that you write poetry. I think I am going to withdraw that proposition.
I don't know. I think it makes sense.
Maybe the
I
wording
would not
could
be
use it a little
surprised
bit.
to know I actually published 3 books back in my time. They were in a language that
are
would
they under your
likely drive your mind to its breaking point.
That sounds like a challenge. the scholars would love a copy. Honestly.
I am uncertain if a copy exists anymore. As he kind of looks up towards the sky and says, unless you know of a way to reach the stars.
Well, we'll keep an ear out.
Yeah, and I'm
There's
sure if you
skyships,
ever find
and
the
they'll be
time, you
special.
could always recreate it yourself.
Yes, my memory is not what it used to be. And as he says that, so Wayne, you've woken up with Percy, and he is very excited to get on the road with you. He's got the pack on his back, he's jumping around. Biggest question, are you riding Periwinkle to the docks?
Yes.
Fuck. Okay.
Why would
why
you
have
not
you
do
asked
that?
I wanted to
that
give him the
question
distance.
when you already know the answer?
So what is everybody's passive?
I'm not there
I think
yet.
I have a decent passive.
Do
You can
really
roll
want to
if
ask
you
that?
want, but most passives are above average. So like, it's not gonna change.
Yeah,
all
I
that
have an 18 passive.
Passive
Okay.
perception for
you
Lynn
know,
is
in
11.
lucky.
Well, you guys are not the first to see them, as Edmund and Rikus, arriving at very similar times, coming from a different sector of the city, you guys converge upon the Watergate at the same time, and Edmund kind of looks over, and Rikus, you feel a slight tap on your shoulder, and then he points over and says, "Is that who I think it is? Riding a bugbear?"
It is completely
You're not
consistent.
there, Secure.
You're not there. I kind of lean in towards him and say, penance, in the eyes of justice.
Oh, how eccentric.
Agreed.
Knowing that...
I, for one-
Yes. He is a strange fellow. Anyways, let's go say hi. And he's gonna start walking
Agreed.
over. So, Wayne, Rikus and Edmund kind of pull in sidestep with you. Yeah, Rikus?
Yeah, Wayne and not Wayne. Edmund and I are. Well, we have like our normal, like our whatever armor we're wearing underneath. Obviously, that you can see, like our service attire, like retired service attire, the full coat, belts, the
Yeah.
the nicer.
You
The
guys are in
nicer
uniform.
everything's in the caps, we're with the very obvious retired lapel. So
as they pull up
we're
sidestep
almost
with you,
matching.
Wayne, Percy at your side says, "Whoa, are these your friends?"
Yep. This is Rikus and his buddy Edmund. Edmund, Rikus, Percy.
Yeah, Percy kind of rushes over and kind of like tries to shake your hand. Actually,
my opinion.
he holds his hand out to shake it and then like goes to salute you.
oh wait, this is the gnome.
No, this is not a
Yeah.
gnome. This is
Oh.
a young,
child.
mostly human-looking kid, probably in his mid to late teens.
Oh, okay, but this is the one that's coming with us.
Yeah.
No, none of us know that yet.
One thing I just realized, Zach. This is something I forgot about until now, and I think you might have forgotten about as well. Isn't the hunter guy from the Vox also coming with us? I think his name is Craven.
Craven, he is.
And he was staying at my place.
He was staying at your place. We did
Oh.
forget about that. So he would have rolled up with your crew.
Wow!
Glad I remember right now, at
Yeah.
least.
I was
He's a
gonna
heavy
say,
sleeper.
he would have just shown up on the ship later when I remembered.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he shows up with that party and is kind of looking at Gendo like, man, that is an interesting person. Full mithril armor. Never seen that before.
Does anyone next to Gendo see the bugbear riding before Gendo sees him?
Let's roll.
So I rolled a 16 for perception.
All right, we'll see what
To
Gendo
respond to
rolls.
Piercy,
You see him first.
I'm gonna.
Gendo doesn't notice.
Okay. To respond to Piercy, how tall is Piercy?
Percy, not Piercy. Percy.
Percy.
Percy is about 5'7". He's still got a growth spurt to go.
Okay, so I can look down a little bit. About a foot, a little less than a foot, but kind of look down at him. Young whippersnapper, and I give him the courtly salute to him as I'm walking, and I take out of one of my coat pockets a little pin laurel that is often handed out to children for the Revedan, the service members of Revedan, and I just I hand it to him.
He kind of takes it. Oh, cool! Is that a gun? That's awesome! And he's trying to put the pin on. You notice he pokes himself multiple times while he's trying to put it on. He eventually slides it through his shirt and ends up clipping it on. He's like, holds himself straight and starts doing the very rigid walk as if he's in formation beside you guys. So Sakir, you do turn your head and you notice you see the bugbear. You don't even see anybody riding it, but you're like, I recognize that bugbear. Yep, and there's Wayne on top.
I'm gonna go. I assume we're gate here. We're in front of it, and they're coming up behind us.
You guys are a little ways away from the gate, like probably a couple 100 feet.
Right. I'm gonna walk in the direction of the gate, which would be past Gendo, looking up at it. Say, well, I think they're on their way soon. I felt the sending stone buzz, and I'm gonna take it out as I'm doing this. And then while talking, I'm gonna turn it on so that I'm transmitting to everyone. I'm gonna say, but we will see you again soon. We probably will hear you by a different name, won't we? Perhaps Gendo, the hater of slavery. Gendo, the abolisher of those who mount another and take the work for themselves. You... Yes?
Those are kind of...
Gendo kind of is nodding and says, those are terrible names. I would
They're
think
kind of long
more,
titles.
Gendo, the warrior poets. Gendo, the freer of the divine from their skulls. I don't know. It would take me time to workshop.
I mean,
And
most
then
people would just go for the Liberator or something like that, right?
Right. And I would also assume... I assume Wayne does nothing in response to this. I wonder
I'm
who
looking
that's
past
for.
him, and I keep saying things just every once in a while, because you would absolutely hate it if you saw one man taking advantage of another. That is what you're trying to abolish specifically when you're going to the Union. Yes.
So Rikus is getting this. Does Rikus try to make any movement towards Wayne? Does Wayne get the hint? I'm assuming Wayne doesn't get the hint.
As we're walking, I'm kind of peering up at Wayne and the bugbear, and Edmund hasn't been given a sending stone for our party yet, has he? Well, he has a sending stone. He has a Rocky Talkie. He just doesn't have the party comp.
I mean, we can just give him the one that we got from Gendo.
True. I kind of turn back towards Edmund and go, have you met Gendo yet?
Yes, I have met Gendo once or twice at this point. He's quite the intriguing, eccentric fellow.
Definitely not one we would want to piss off.
Yes, quite not. Wayne, would you perhaps like to travel on foot from here? I believe Periwinkle is scared of the water.
I just kind of look over at him. Periwinkle, is that so?
Periwinkle kind of looks up at you and he's not going to say anything, but he kind of just nods his head ever so slightly.
Well, I think it's high time you learn to swim. I'll take 10 days off if you take a lap when I get off up there.
He begins walking. In fact, he begins moving with a little bit of an extra pace. towards the water. As you guys are going, I'm gonna make a roll here real quick. Okay, that's hilarious. So Sakir, as you're making these notes, you kind of like very cautiously kind of look over towards Gendo as you see Gendo notice this just giant bugbear begin to bound towards the water with an elf on his shoulders.
Oh my
Gendo
god.
says, the frivolities of the younger races. And just doesn't pay attention to it anymore.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Better than a lot of the
Oh.
alternatives.
DM, I would like to note that I do have baby with the trunk in tow,
Okay. Will
and
do.
obviously Oswald is on my shoulder.
Yes, Oswald is with you.
I forgot about Oswald.
How could you forget about Oswald, who wanted to hunt you and
Bought
kill
him
you?
last session.
Where are we putting this
Or
horse?
second before.
It's a rather large, like barge ship that can definitely
This-
hold a horse
this
or
is-
two.
They are taking horses with them.
Yes.
They actually all would be on the ship that you guys are going to be going on. Whereas most of the better housing for an extended travel, even though this is only going to be like a day and a half on the river, there are ways that they've made to very, very swiftly traverse on this spine. It's called the spine for a multitude of reasons, particularly because it's the center point of all Galadrian trade. Regardless, yes, your horse will more than be able to fit on one of these vessels.
So we have to go down to Pepski and then back up.
Yes. And while that is a pretty extensive distance, not only are the ships very well designed for traveling on this, but the winds will be with you at this point in the day. So there's a lot of ways they've been able to magically manipulate the river of the Kala spine to be able to make travel go faster. So with that, Periwinkle sprints over and roll me an insight check, Wayne.
All right.
You
19.
are completely convinced that he is terrified of this water as he runs up to it and like puts a toe in and then kind of backs up a little bit and then goes in, puts a leg in, very slowly makes his way into the water, and utterly fumbles doing a lap around one of the docks, but is able to successfully make it back without drowning.
Well done. Well done. Glad to see you conquered your fears. See, you're learning things during your penance.
He kind of nods, just his fur just soaking, dripping over his eyes. He's having to move it out of the way. Percy kind of goes up and pats him on the back and is excited that he conquered his fear and all that. So as everybody's there, Gendo kind of bids you all adieu, and says, "If not in this life, I will see you among the stars in the next." And he
Hear,
begins
Hear.
taking off. He just starts going due north. He doesn't know exactly where he's going, but he'll make it as he goes.
He has a map.
Oh,
He
no,
does
shit,
have a
okay.
map. He does not use it.
Just Forrest Gumps it all
So,
the way back.
Leopold and Rikus are probably just a little bit hungover. Not an incredible amount, but a little bit.
I didn't drink nearly as much.
Yep.
I will say
Leopold is
Much
definitely
more.
wearing a little bit of a hat to block the sun.
I have a higher tolerance.
Secure.
I will say I will go up to Rikus, specifically during a time where Lennon is not within earshot to not confuse him. I'll offer him a flask and say, "You told Lennon to make a concoction for you for your hangover, so told me to give this to you."
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at my brother. Squint my eyes a little bit. Look back down at it.
You can tell just by looking at my face that I'm like holding back laughter.
I'm gonna sniff it.
I'll be right back.
It like is the most pungent blood you have ever smelled.
I'm gonna like dip my tongue in it slightly, just like kind of get a glean of
Does he
what
throw up from the blood
exactly is
tank
in
blood?
here. What?
Does he throw up from the blood tank blood? I asked.
Oh no! Like I barely put my put my
he
tongue on it,
barely
like
takes a tap of it.
Good. Okay.
just to like
You
just to
are
like see what
utterly
exactly this is.
disgusted. You are thoroughly disgusted. You're blood magic, but not ingesting the blood type of blood magic.
Well, I know it's blood, but I
It's quite thick, almost viscous, you would say at this point.
Secure hasn't been
I'm
staring.
gonna take a really long draft, and would I be able to recall if it smells something like a giant barrel?
It kind
Of
of does,
blood.
just a little bit. Just a little bit.
What kind of barrel is it aged in, though? Oak, hickory.
Walnut.
It's also chill. It's also slightly chilled because the barrel is magically chilled.
I'm going to pop the cork back on the bottle and say, "Thank you, brother. I will be able to sip on it as we rock on the boat."
Sounds good. And as I'm walking away under my breath, like intentionally to you, I say, 8 silver says you won't.
I hate silver.
8 gold says I can't get Linen to try it.
Ah, that's mean though. That's an easy one. That's a low-hanging fruit. Leopold. If you can get Leopold to take it.
As long as his company isn't looking.
I reach out my hand to shake on it and say, let's make it 10. I bet you can't.
Deal.
You bet you can.
But I will have Linen try this as well.
Why
Low-hanging
do you
fruit.
want all of us to become vampires and drink blood with the rest of you?
I'll place 2 more gold on there saying that Linen will like it.
I'll take that wager. That stuff's disgusting.
This is the
Agreed.
person drinking it daily.
Edmund is
Not
just
the blood tank
standing
blood.
here looking from one brother to the other. Just being like,
I do
"He
notice him
really is your
eventually.
younger brother."
He tries really hard,
noticed
doesn't
Speaking
he?
of, have your testicles dropped back down into the sack yet? I apologize for that.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yes, a while ago. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yes, you're welcome. Again, I apologize.
Linen having
Drink?
to apply the balming oil to bring down the swelling was quite hilarious.
I mean, oils to the balls. Some people like that. Some people use it quite often. Can't say I'm the same.
I guess I embody all the kinks of all of Lucia.
It's
I would-
okay.
You seem the type,
Okay.
bald and all.
Souffle.
They keep
Probably
saying
has a
that.
very good Concordian souffle.
Into blood. I
was
have
about to say
I have
that.
shackles. I have shackles
Sure.
in my back.
Into
All the
blood
kinks.
shackles.
The
Go ahead,
Harlequins
spread
want
the word.
to
I can't wait
puncture
for
his
somebody
head.
to-
I'm not gonna get in between the love triangle, square, line, whatever is occurring here. I'm going to go speak with Ernest. And he starts walking off towards the conglomerate of noblemen off to the side.
Dang. I was gonna offer him 8 silver.
Or over towards where Lycus and Ernest has started moving over that direction at this point.
So are you going to be coming over to try and get Leopold to drink this first, or Lennon first? Or I guess would we both
I think we're
be
waiting
standing
until
close
the
to each other?
boat before we have you guys try to drink that. Either way, Linen, as you guys
I
are
have
waiting,
till we get to Seno Suno.
as you guys are all just kind of waiting and talking around, Linen, you feel a fairly strong punch to your kidney. And by fairly strong, I mean as strong as a 9-year-old can muster. 9 to 11-year-old. So a very, very light tap to your kidney as from behind you, you hear, "Boo!"
Gee. Turn around. Polkar!
What's up, Linen? It's been a little bit. You've been gone for a couple weeks. Where you been?
Ah, gee. Oh, man. Oh, Polkar. Jeez, it's been a trip, let me tell you, Polkar. How? Man, have you been keeping up with your studies well?
Yeah, they've got this really old fart from the academy that they have tutoring me now. He can barely stay awake for the full 4-hour study session me and you used to do.
Well, when you get when some races get older, they also have less stamina.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to remember to train your body as well as your mind.
Yeah,
when
that's what
learning
my
that.
older brothers always talk about my dad. I don't know exactly what... That must be what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's man, it's. But anyways, yeah, I've been all around the Caladrian Empire as of lately. Have you heard of Professor Lycus's Inexorable?
Yeah, I
group?
heard that you were doing some with that.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. I had to look up that word in the dictionary.
It's not a common word, is it?
No, it's really not.
And I wonder
Apparently,
how he came.
fantasy novelists really like using it.
I guess so. How did he come up with that name, though? It's like there's certainly a better synonym.
There's gotta
for
be
it.
a better word. Yeah, something a little bit rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Either way, I asked my dad if I could ride with you guys in the Spine Sister, and he said yes. So me and Ernest
Oh.
and our Sworn Shields will be there with you guys.
Okay. Well, I guess I could catch you up with everything we've been doing then while we're on our way up to Suno.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
As he's saying that, you see this tall man, probably somewhere in the middle 6-foot range, with his helmet under his arm and a great sword upon his back. You see Polkar's Sworn Shield, his guard who is with him the vast majority of the time. Generally not while at the school, it's fairly well protected. But you've seen him at least a couple times. You know him to be Larko Sansar.
Largo Sarn Sar.
Sansar.
Shmee shmee.
As he kind of steps up, he kind of nods to you and says,
Sir
Linen,
Sansar.
how is your
How
time with
have
the
you-
Inexorables?
Yeah. Well, given that every combat scenario I've been in, I've nearly died. I'd say it's been going pretty well.
Just wait till you find your first time in war. That will be a very exciting engagement, I'm sure.
Honestly, I don't know if I'd survive. But I'll do my best. I mean,
I'm an
I guess
optimist. I believe you would be able to survive for at least a period of time, if for no other reason than your prowess as a combat medic.
True.
Even enemies such as the Gith or the Katanit Empire would rarely kill a combat medic.
I mean, the things we've been fighting don't really care about the treatises and agreements of war,
Yes.
so it's not a.
Thus,
The Gith certainly don't care. I kind of
Yeah.
holler.
He says, you hear him kind of, or Linen, you see him kind of look over and say, that's not entirely true. But, regardless, different experiences.
Yes. I mean, it's war, different groups and different well, once you get in far enough, people start losing some certain reasons and niceties.
Yes. Well,
But how have you been? It's been a while since you and Polkar have well, I've seen both you and Polkar. How's
yes.
Revenant been these past
It
week
has
or
been active. Polkar has gone through 2 new tutors. He kind of looks down. The most recent of which is an older elven man. But he is not as eccentric as required for Polkar. You know how he can
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Well,
it has been the same old, as they say.
that's nice. It, you know,
Yes.
even if I'm not the tutor, eventually you guys can find someone that will match his enthusiasm and energy.
That is the hope. Regardless, even with the likely upcoming conflict, I am more than like to stay here in Revedan to continue watch over the child.
Is that good? Would you say that's a good or bad thing?
He kind of looks down towards Polkar and looks back up at you, and with a very obvious face of I'm trying not to hide it from the child and make him feel bad, he says, "It is my duty and honor to protect the youngest of Lord Valkenton's children. It is
Of
always an
course.
honor to stay." And there is this very obvious. I would kind of would rather be up there because that's a place to earn honor and glory, but also in the same right, he's already earned quite a bit through the Githyanki conflict. So it's an honor, but it would be just as much an honor to go to war.
Well, I certainly would like. I certainly would like to see you in combat as well one day.
There is always the possibility. Let us hope it does not come to that.
I mean, I don't mean in like a life or death situation. I heard there's a tournament happening in Suno in a few days.
Yes, I have also heard something of the sort. I'm not particularly intrigued in tourneys anymore. That is a young knight's game. I've
It's
had
a-
my decades fill.
I mean, that's part of the fun with some of these stories, right? An old learned, experienced knight teaches all the new young knights what it means to be a true warrior.
He
That
kind
sort
of
of thing.
laughs and says, "I know I look it, but I'm not that old yet. I'm barely in my 40s.
I mean, that's fair. Honestly, I'm the to almost everyone I know is older than me, to be honest.
You are young, Linen. There is much time to learn and live. Regardless, I believe we are about to begin loading on the ships. From what I've heard, Ernest and his companion will also be along the Spine Sister."
Oh yes.
He kind of looks over, just over your shoulder, to the rest of the party. It's just like, quite an extravagant bunch you have found.
Well, I didn't. Well, it's more like they chose me. But
Aw.
they've kept me alive, so I can't complain.
I can thank them for that, if nothing else.
True.
So
Ah.
as... Did you have something you want to say?
No. Go on.
Okay. So as everybody kind of begins to load up, Periwinkle kind of shaking the water out of his fur. I'm assuming you're not taking Periwinkle with you. Okay. He begins walking back into the city, happy to have burned an extra 10 days off of his penance. Percy gives him a big hug and bids him adieu and follows you along. So as you guys all kind of load up and into the facility, I would like everyone to make a perception check real quick.
Hog.
I lean over to Percy, and I just go, "See, Percy, that's what we call mercy. Allowing them to work it off quicker than they expect."
That rolls
Percy's like,
advantage.
so cool and awesome of you, Wayne.
That didn't roll with advantage.
That's so
Okay.
gay.
13.
13, Pog. You're a
So,
little distracted
I-
talking about mercy.
Yep.
Okay.
Mercy
I was
and
supposed to roll with
destiny.
advantage. It was worse than the first
What
one.
if my passive is like a fucking?
So I got a 19.
So, Leopold and Lennon, you guys, as you kind of look over towards the rest, you see Edmund coming over, seemingly, almost you'd say a little uncomfortable. And you look behind him, and you actually see, who you recognize to be Halant Valkenton in his radiant armor, along with another person who looks eerily similar to him, and Ernest having a seemingly very serious conversation, like sequestered off to the side, still on the dock. You don't see anything, but you do see the older man seemingly dressed in more noble attire, not wearing any armor or anything. He actually sticks his finger out and pokes Ernest's chest, seemingly very angry at him at this moment. And just a moment later, you see Ernest begin walking away from the docks, and another knight in shining armor kind of gets in stride behind him as they make their way to your ship. There's a whole bunch of sailors that are getting the rigging set. The anchor is beginning to get pulled up. And as Ernest and his Sworn Shield step onto the boat, it is untied from the dock, and the Star of Revedan and the Spine Sister begin making their way onto the river's quay. So Ernest kind of walks on, and he immediately begins heading below deck as he gets on.
Leopold, who I imagine is probably having some interesting firearm discussions with Theobald, and I might ask Zach some specifics about that later. He's going to bid a quick adieu to Theobald and Yvonne, and he's going to follow Ernest to see what might be up.
So by follow, do you mean like you're going beneath the deck with him?
Going beneath the deck. And once we're like both beneath the deck, is there anybody around beneath the deck?
The knight continues to follow him down.
Is there anybody else besides I guess it would be three of us?
I was gonna say maybe a crew member or two of the vessel, kind of just getting all of the horses and such set away and made sure they have food and water and such.
And in that case, Leopold would go ahead and call it. Ernest, a moment, if you would.
Ernest kind of looks behind him. He seems flushed, like he is angry right now. And he kind of looks over and says, "What, Leopold?"
I understand that you probably aren't in a mood to have any discussions. Well, I noticed your seeming altercation with your father, but if you do want to discuss it, my door is open. Let's say I have a bit of knowledge about family matters.
I appreciate the offer, Leopold. I do not believe now is the time, as I will paint a broad brush on the reputation of my father in your eyes, which would not be fair to him nor to myself. Maybe when I have cooled my temper slightly.
Of course. I just thought I'd make sure you knew you had a listening ear.
He kind of nods and says, "I appreciate that, Leopold. I understand your situation may not be too dissimilar. Maybe we can have a discussion about it in the future. Possibly me, you, and Lycus both." And he kind of turns. He seems to be heading towards one horse in particular, seemingly going to get calmed down, brushing out his prized stallion.
Well, I wish you the best. And with that, Leopold will leave the boy to his grooming and go ahead back up top.
Alright. So as you guys are going up top, yes, Rikus, I hear you.
I was gonna say, as soon as I saw Leopold dip away, I was gonna kind of like bump into Lennon and be like, Lennon,
Mhm.
I need you to try this.
What is it?
I need you to make a medical deduction of this.
Okay. Opens it, kind of gives it a wop. More blood.
It is pungent.
I feel like Lennon's lost his taste buds at this point with how much random shit he's put in his mouth.
Well,
But what about a sense of smell?
So Lennon takes a swig.
No, it takes a whole thing. Whoop!
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Dude,
I try to stop him before he gets. I try to stop him before he gets halfway.
Whoop!
Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Ooh, boy.
I'll let you do it at advantage.
Hell yeah.
As you do tip it up from around the corner behind Rikus, you hear a what?
Okay, Constitution rule, saving throw.
Saving throw.
Okay,
This is a saving throw.
at advantage. There you go, 24.
24.
Dang.
You
Dang.
are surprisingly fine at this point in time. It did not taste good. It does want to come back up, but you're holding it down pretty well.
Lynn's kind of like, It needs a bit more work. I've had better blood medicine. Well, my family's made better blood potions before.
Does it need more rosemary?
No, it's not that. I think it needs more.
Garlic.
Don't
You hear
say it.
Edmund say from the background.
Yes, that. And a bit more garlic and maybe a bit more magic in it.
Ah, yes, because we all can just bottle that and put it with our blood.
Well, it's more ritualistic. In some sort.
Ah, yes, take it from the
I
throat
go
of
out
the
of-
goat and such.
But
I go
out of
didn't
10,
enjoy
out of
it.
10, in the state it's in, and thinking about how it could be, out of 10, would you say it's decent?
The blood could be better kept. Maybe stir it a bit more often. It's coagulating a bit.
Let's say, at what point?
I didn't make this, but-
At what point does Leo walk back up?
Probably about the point. Probably we'll say about this point, just for funny's sake. Lennon's like, it's a little coagulated. You could stir it a little bit more often.
All right,
No,
well,
I
let me
think
try
he's got a point,
putting the
though.
garlic in. And I'm gonna grab from one of my pouches the
The spice pouch.
spice pouch of many spices, and I'm going to sprinkle some of that in there and give it a good swirl. Kind of break apart anything coagulated, kind of
Close
give it
the
a nice
cap,
good
shake it a
swirl,
whole bunch.
shake it a little bit.
Anyway.
And I was like, all right.
Anyways, if you'll excuse
Leo.
me, and then we'll walk up to the railing of the ship and just like.
Lennon's
out
gonna
of
go
sight.
up or out of everyone's line of sight and just projectile vomit this nasty ass blood.
I'm going to go up to Leopold. Is like, okay, Leopold, I need you to take a sip of this.
Leo, at this point, is
Lyndon.
walking over towards back to Yvonne and Theobald. He probably
I
took
catch you
note of
before
the
you go to
interaction.
Yvonne.
Well, I was saying he was like walking towards that direction. He didn't get all the way. But
Well, you see us deliberating over it, and then I make the suggestions like he said, and I say, Leopold, this is before you catch up your ways up to Yvonne and all them.
Yeah.
Leopold.
yes,
Lyndon said it needed a little bit more garlic and a little bit more flair to it, so I tried giving that. But take a sip of this. It might help with the hangover.
wait, you put garlic in drink? Why would you put garlic?
Have you never had a Bloody Mary?
Once, but I wasn't a particularly big fan of it.
Is that an emphasis on the bloody or emphasis on the man?
Both.
I'm sure the woman it was taken from.
Well, it's akin to that, as in that it has more spices for you to recover your bowels from the previous night.
You see Secure like
I
right
don't
behind
really
Ricus'
think it's
shoulder, having just
bowels. You
like a
need to
coin pouch, and it's
have
just like
that hangover. It's more so the fact that I have a low-grade headache. But I will probably be fine by later this evening.
I
Who
I
knows?
pull out a couple of herbs and kind of munch it up and say, okay, just use this to down these herbs. It'll help with the headache. It's a genuine herb that would help with your headache.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a genuine herb.
He will take the herbs.
starts
I guess
counting.
just kind of begin chewing on the herbs. Take the flask and just kind of sniff the flask.
It
It
does
smells like
smell
garlic.
significantly better now. The garlic is overpowering, but there is just a faint, like... That smells very, like, salty.
What's
Pungent.
Salty?
What's in this besides the garlic?
A lot of iron and sodium.
I don't
All the good
normally-
minerals.
I don't normally associate chemical formulas with drinks. You don't see anyone going around saying that they have hydrogen and oxygen in their water.
Salt, my friend. It has salt and garlic.
Well, why couldn't you just say that? And what sort of hangover cure has salt that's going to make you more parched?
DM, you need
Actually,
to
salts are
decide.
very good for retaining. It's
Yeah.
salty water, like seawater, that makes you parched. Like if you have a little bit of actual salt in your water, it's actually great for keeping you hydrated. Linen,
Today, I learned.
You need to I'm leaving it up to you to decide when Lynn walks back around the corner after vomiting.
okay. You probably take a minute to do
Right.
that. Yeah, no, if you're needing to like get hydrated the next day, a lot of athletes will like put extra salt on their food and stuff to
Electrolytes.
retain water better.
It's electrolytes,
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know the
That's
term
what you do when you go
electrolytes.
hiking. Is you just eat a bunch of salty foods before you go, so you have to drink less.
Yeah.
And if you still get fucked up, then you can take some liquid IV, which has a fuckload of sodium.
Salt. Yeah, it's saline. It's a saline injection.
Yeah.
With a bunch of
I
others,
think
but
I will
saline's
have
a big part.
to. I appreciate the offer, I guess. Maybe I'll need it later on, but I think I will be fine.
Hand lands on your shoulder, Ricus. Money pouch flips open.
Let's
It
say,
is
wouldn't you
very
guys,
empty.
out of character, wouldn't you go even because you got Leonard to drink it, but not Leopold, or was it a package deal?
I think wasn't it 2 gold on Linen and then it was 10 on you?
Well, I thought it was 2 on Leonard enjoying it,
Yeah, exactly.
not him drinking it.
Right. I never bet on him drinking it, and so technically speaking, Ricus lost both.
Technically speaking, Lennon never said he didn't enjoy it.
But he never affirmed it in the
We can
positive either.
So, Linen, as you're walking back around the corner, as you go up and start vomiting, Polkar kind of followed you up there since you went off on your own and was like, "Are you okay?"
Kind of. Those blood hunters really need to work on their concoctions a bit more. Ugh.
Blood hunters. That sounds scary.
I mean, kind of. It seems that their powers are like really varied. Like one uses blood to like extend his appendages and attack, and it gets really messy. And then the other one, I don't really know. I think he uses like I think he uses steroids on himself.
Steroids?
Yeah, I think he just spikes his blood somehow and makes
Uncle
himself more
says those
powerful.
make your balls shrink back up into your body.
It depends on the steroids and how long you take it, but I think because it's blood, it's a bit better.
Oh, can I meet these blood hunters? They sound kind
Yeah.
of cool.
Yeah, you can. Well, like later when.
Get it all out. Get it all out.
Anyways. Yeah, when we.
Follow you, slut.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me just.
I have a question for
Uh,
when the scene's over.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll meet them later. Actually, I'm going up to talk to one of them right now. They they asked me to test one of their blood concoctions, and I've been trying to figure out how it works, but
Can I
that
try
one.
it?
Uh, we'll ask first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he
I
just
think
kind of is gonna follow you over.
I think they gave it to me because it was more experimental, and they knew I could heal myself.
Oh,
So yeah, Lennon
that
walks off
sounds
with.
unethical.
There's been worse. I've been through worse.
All right.
As Lynn
Leopold,
walks up, walks off.
So I was wondering, how drunk did Theovold get last night? Does he need a hangover cure?
no, he did not. Theovold did not drink that much.
Okay, because I was going to wonder if Theovold needed it, and I was kind of
No.
curious to see
Theovold also has
what.
dwarven constitution.
Well, but that just means he can drink even more and get even more hungover.
Nah,
Just fun
Theovold's doing fine.
Well, I was curious.
I will offhandedly say to Sakir and say, the agreement was I have till Suno.
Puts the coin purse away. Fine. Fine.
Lynn
Yeah.
walks
Take all the time you want. I'm getting that gold.
Do you say that with Leopold still in earshot?
If
Oh
Rikus
no, we
started
say
it,
that. We say that like. I'm sorry. I would like to clarify. I'm using Shadow Clone Jitsu to talk to him using the Shadowfell. I'm using the Shadowfell sign language that literally only he and I know.
You guys all just see the Anadeus brothers start throwing gang signs at each other, seemingly able to read each other's hand signals.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
we've done this
either-
once or twice before, at least.
I was saying, either way, I was discussing one of the things I happened to loot from the encounter we had with Vicious, the Oxton Thrower. I think I might be able to adapt it to some more of our users. Would you perhaps be interested in it, Rikus? Because I know I was discussing some of the logistics with Theobold.
I'm always up for a test drive.
Well,
What
of course.
exactly do you have in mind for these enhancements?
Well, yes, enhancements might be the wrong word. For right now, I'm just trying to ensure that we can use it and produce bolts reliably before we make any big changes and understand the internal mechanisms. Of course, it's a very large weapon, and if we do ever encounter somebody using more actual armor, like if we had needed to fight Gendo, heavens forbid, then it would have been quite useful there. Might be a useful trick to have in our back pocket, and even if not, depending on the situation, could be useful. But needing to get the proper brace set up for it is a little bit, what's the word? Cumbersome.
you should make more of those grenades, except make it easier for you to deploy them. Put them on an arrow, make them teleport, something like that.
If it was on an arrow, why would it need to teleport?
One of the two. I wasn't saying both at the same time. That could be cool though. You could shoot it out a window, go through the window without hitting the window.
Yeah, and I believe that putting a grenade on an arrow would massively mess with the aerodynamics. Additionally, with the added weight, you'd need to have a further drawstring.
I wouldn't know
which
anything
there
about
could
that.
definitely be some archers who would definitely have the strength, but the problem you get is mainly with the accuracy. Though depending on the size of the payload, you would need less accuracy because of the explosive. But if you're going for a larger explosive, that would further decrease your aerodynamics, depending on how ergonomically you can design the arrow. And
Leopold, I think it would work better as a bolt. In fact, I think that's typically how they deliver it.
I was just giving a suggestion.
Or the arc stone. I can't say I've heard of any explosive crossbows, though I don't doubt they exist.
R&D
Well,
departments.
I'm a one-man R&D department. Well, I actually have a new thing I've been working on. I think I can probably get it done.
Pats the
the-
shoulders and leaves.
It's a modification of one of my previous designs. I noticed while we were encountering some of those hounds that I don't particularly have an easy way of dealing damage outside of flame attacks, so anybody who's resistant to those is a little bit troublesome for me to deal with. So he pulls out his revolver. I modified the cylinder here. Normally I have it dealing charged with fire elemental damage, but now I have it charged with. I was able to reverse the polarity, one might say, and now it deals cold damage, and also slows people down. Which is my in-universe way of saying I picked up Ray of Frost, I believe is the cantrip.
So as you guys are discussing and doing all that, Sakir, as you kind of pat both shoulders and turn around, you immediately lock eyes with Linen as he's coming down the way.
Linen's like, he obviously has like blood around his mouth, and he's like still wiping it off.
I'm really sorry about that.
Ugh. You guys need to get. Both times I've had Rikus's blood concoction, I've ended up throwing up. He really needs to work on making those better.
You feel
I
a
agree.
tug on your shirt,
Oh,
as Polkar,
yes.
and he kind of whispers to you, "He's not sorry."
Wait, say that again.
While he's saying that, I have the Rakitaki in my hand, and I bring it up and I say, "You would say that was terrible, and you rather did not enjoy it, yes?"
I mean, it could be better. But
No.
everything's a learning
No.
experience with medicine.
Hey, Linen.
Hmm?
It is good or it is bad. Pick one.
Could be worse.
Everything could be worse and everything could be better, Linen.
I mean, you're not getting. It's not getting sacrificed on an altar bad. But that's all. Honestly, that's some of the. Well, that's kind of inappropriate. Anyways, just
That was really inappropriate.
Yeah, when you talk about that, the hand does just like kind of lighten and he brings off to you.
He's like, ah, shit.
Anyways,
Polkar's
have
just sitting here
Womp
so
womp.
confused. Just
Sorry, Sakir, this is Polkar, the son of the youngest son of Lord Valkenton, younger brother of Ernest as well. Polkar, this is Sakir, the one of the Inexorables I've been traveling with. He's one of the two blood hunters in the party that I told you about.
cool. Polkar does like a very, very official like, fist to his heart, out towards you, and then goes to shake your hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. You're a very observant young fellow, yes?
Yeah. So as you guys shake hands, there's almost like a little spark that occurs between you two.
Gay?
No, I'm not gonna do anything with kids in that sense. That's
Oh yeah, he's a child. Hey.
yeah, this is a kid.
He's like 9 years old, right?
He is very young. He's around that 9 to 10.
Do we need to
time
call
frame.
Chris Hansen?
As
This is a handshake, brother.
as you guys touch, there is like this small shock that both of you feel, and he kind of looks up at you, kind of awkwardly, and goes, "What was that? Was that your blood magic stuff? Were you stealing my blood? That's not okay."
No, I have no idea what that is. Did it hurt you?
No, that was fine.
I'm gonna poke him in the shoulder.
As you poke him in the shoulder, nothing happens.
Linen's gonna continue.
You get that- So sorry. Could you touch my finger really quick?
He goes to touch your finger. Nothing happens.
Spark? Okay, I have two theories. One of them is totally fine and there's nothing to worry about. The other one's a little bit worse. What do you know about electricity? It is something I've read on once, and
There's some goofballs in his academy that are trying to work on stuff like that. Mostly lightning in a bottle type stuff. I don't interact with those guys
Right.
very much.
Lennon rubs hands together. Shocking grasp.
Yes, it's like that. How to describe it? There's certain materials, like certain armors that you wear. I haven't worn this type in a while, but you take it off, and when you touch someone else, a spark goes off.
Hmm.
That's what I think happened. But I'm not wearing the armor, so I don't know what reason it could have.
He kind of looks at his hands and
That was
goes.
interesting.
You see him snap his fingers, and a little bit of electricity snaps between them. As Polkar also has some magical capabilities. He's like, maybe it was a accident. I don't know. Sometimes that stuff just comes out.
Okay, my
Polka-
bad.
Polka is,
Yes, and we won't even go near the other option it could have been. Yes, that is
Polkar's
a
very
relief.
gifted in magic. He's I've been tutoring him for a bit, and he's honestly pretty good.
Yeah.
He just needs a bit honestly direction with control, and one day he'll be
Yeah.
a pretty. One day, don't worry about it,
He's
Polka.
gonna
One day
work
you'll
it
be a
out.
powerful mate.
Well, it's the more control thing. Like, it just happens randomly, and I can't control it.
It's
Mm.
there's a time and place for. Lennon will like on one knee, hands on both shoulders. As I've told you before, there's a time and place, and there's a time and place for everything, and eventually we will arrive at the answers that we were meant to arrive at. You will learn control over your own magic one day. It just takes time,
Yeah.
and I know you can do it because you will be, because I can see it. Already a better mage you're already a better caster than me.
Yeah, but you haven't accidentally burned down a barracks yet, have you?
No, but I did accidentally almost kill myself on a ritualistic altar.
Um, that just sounds like being dumb.
Yeah.
Control is one of the hardest and most important things for someone learning a new skill, especially a dangerous one, mastering some power that they have within them, which I see that you do. It is your responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility.
You see, he kind of looks at you and goes,
Bruh.
"You're right." He's like, "You're right."
And who
There's
knows,
others.
maybe you'll learn a thing or two while we're traveling to and from Suno.
I hope I
Maybe
do.
we'll get some ideas.
I haven't really learned all that much since you stopped tutoring me, Lennon.
It's all about it's all every day teaches you something new, Polkar. It's just about recognizing what life was trying to teach you that day.
Yeah, I get you. All right, I'm gonna go do something below deck. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Come
feel
out-
like I'm
come
getting a little seasick.
Come hang out with us later when you're feeling better, and I'll introduce you to everyone else and the other blood hunter in the party, the one that's using steroids.
The one that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna. And he just kind of excuses
Damn.
himself.
Damn! Trying to stutter in character and getting made fun. Damn, dude.
He's a kid, of course he's
I
gonna make
know.
fun of it.
That rascal.
He's fun.
Good kid.
Well,
Anyways.
I'm glad
jumping
you
over to
enjoyed the
other-
blood.
I wouldn't say not really enjoyed it.
You didn't enjoy it?
Not really. If
I'm
something
sorry, I'll
makes you
stop pressing it.
if something makes you throw up, it's not exactly enjoyable. It's just
He runs off.
It's just I've had worse. As you run off. For example, the last blood potion I took that had a rock in it.
So
That's so gross.
we're going to, unless somebody else has a pressing conversation they'd like to take care of. Does anybody?
No, I was just kind of interested in knowing what Wayne was doing right now.
Yeah, what's happening with Percy and
That
Wayne?
was going to be the question. What is Wayne up to?
Oh no.
He's probably going on a rather long monologue about the finer points of mercy,
All right.
mercy and judgment. Yep.
All right.
After all, he is my my little protege, my little apprentice. So he's got to have his lessons. I've been gone for a bit, so it's a good thing he's coming with us, so I can continue teaching him.
I'd like you to make me a perception check, Wayne. Everyone else is kind of talking, moving around the boat. You and Percy are kind of often secluded. You're definitely paying more attention to the surroundings.
Not so sure about that.
Okay, that's all right. As you're kind of talking to Percy, he actually kind of points to the side and goes, "What is that?" There's been a lot of rain recently in the Caladrian Empire, but there's been, the last couple days, it's been burning sun. Pretty hot on this side of the Caladrian Empire. So the river went up super high for a couple days, and then kind of got drained out through the locks at Sargoth, and also melted away a little bit, evaporated. You see off to the side a very, very, very strange sight. As at first you see this massive, like, shark. It's this massive river shark stretching probably close to 25 feet long. And I'll mention to you guys, when I talk about the Kala Spine being a river, at its widest point, it is 20 miles wide.
So this shit's the Mississippi.
This shit's the Mississippi. It is an incredibly wide, incredibly long river. And it, you know, as you can see on the map, has all these offshoots where towns are at the end of it. So when we're
20
talking...
miles wide?
Yes, 20 miles wide at its widest.
I'll say, I looked that up. That is apparently twice the widest length that the Mississippi is.
Yes. This is...
Dang.
This is almost like when the gods made Volusia. They just took their finger and marked the world in the width of this place. When we're talking about, you could be heading west, and a boat heading east might not see you as you pass, just because of how far away you'll be. So, it's a very, very, very wide river. That's at its widest point. Most of it is actually more around the 5 to 7 range. But at its widest, it's 20. Like, there's a reason no bridges have been built across the Kala Spine. Across all of it. There is not a single bridge. It is all boat travel. With that, as you kind of look over, you guys are getting farther and farther away from the shore. But you're kind of staying closer to the shore, as there seems to be a little bit of a dreary weather that you're gonna run into a couple hours from now. Just cloudy skies that are moving in. Seems to be a little fog with it. But as you're looking out to the side, like wrapped up in a bramble of vines and almost like stuck by a tree, you see this like 25-foot long, what you know to be a Vundu shark. A shark native to the Kala Spine. You don't find it anywhere else. And it is this massive shark that seems to have, when the waters had risen, gotten stuck up in this bramble and was unable to free itself before the waters dropped back down. And so there's, you know, little scavenger creatures just taking bits of meat off. And as you and Percy are looking at it, he kind of points just a little bit farther up, and you actually see a very, very small shark. Just a little ways up, almost as if this was a mother and its child got caught up in the brambles, and trying to save it got caught.
So is the little one also on the beach?
Yeah, the little one's just like a little bit farther up, also stuck up in brambles.
Oh.
You and Percy are kind of looking at this, and Percy goes, "Oh man, that sucks."
Yeah, that's depressing.
What would
Just to
Kellamvor have to say
clarify.
about that?
Let's say, just to clarify, the baby is also dead, correct?
Baby, both are dead. Yeah,
Okay.
probably dead for at least a day.
Thing.
I'd reckon they ate the wrong person.
That really sucks.
I would bet that mama shark ate someone's kid that was swimming. And so then she, as way of judgment and justice, was forced to watch her own baby die.
Man, that is rough.
That's what I would think he would say.
Man, going away just trapped. You were talking about justice
And mercy.
and mercy. And you just kind of continue along on your spiel.
Rains from above.
So we're going to move forward a couple hours in the day. You guys are kind of entering into a fog. There's no rain, but there's like a light mist in the air as you guys are going through it. As you guys are going throughout the day, who thinks they would stay on top, like on the deck of the vessel, and who would kind of like go below, try and find like secure linen? Would you try and find a desk to continue working on the notes or tinker on stuff for some of the other guys?
Yes.
Research time.
Say, Leopold is also probably going downstairs to his room to work on some new weapon drafts.
Okay.
I'm looking for Leopold.
What'd you say, Wayne?
I'm looking for Leopold.
All right. So
He would
yeah.
probably be in, I guess, how are the rooms on this barge set up? Are they like individual rooms?
There's not really many what you would call rooms. So this barge is mostly for transporting livestock in the lower deck. So there is a section in the back of the boat, which is kind of like an open area with some hammocks and cots and a couple desks on the side of the room. But there's kind of like one communal sleeping area. There's a captain's quarters underneath the actual like steering for the vessel. And then outside of that, there's not really much of a place to sleep unless you're sleeping with the horsies in the hay.
Alright, so in that case, Leopold as well as Sakir and Lennon are probably all in the same room, just probably on two opposite sides, so they're interfering with each other as least as possible as they're in their work.
Alright. So, Wayne, you kind of walk downstairs, walk by all these horses, and everyone's in this room, but you catch sight of Leopold.
He's just hunched over his desk, drawing some schematics.
Hey, Leo, you busy?
I'm working on some schematics, but this isn't anything I'm going to be able to build until I get back to Revenant, so not particularly. What do you need?
I was gonna see if you could take a look at these for me, and I'm gonna just kind of reach back into my bag and pull out a tiara and a necklace. Like, I found these a while back. I just keep forgetting to toss them over and see if you can take a look at them. I can feel something coming from them, but not really sure what.
A while back? When did you find these?
A while back. I don't remember exactly where.
Must have been before our time, but alright. Well, give me a few hours and I can see what I can do.
Ah, very good, very good. Thank you, buddy.
Actually, hold on. Let me quickly double check the casting time for Identify, because I don't remember the
10
casting
minutes.
time for Identify as a ritual.
10 minutes. And one action.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I think rituals are an hour when they're 10 minutes. Yeah, in that case, give me 20 minutes.
There's a few.
There
that
are a few that are an
Yeah.
hour, so it's pretty much always the action, and then either plus a minute, plus 10 minutes, or plus an hour.
Yeah.
So for those two items, I'm pretty sure I told you guys what their names were. But let me see if I can find
And
them.
the necklace and the tiara?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember you telling us the names on that.
I don't think Leopold ever like officially.
So there is
Like-
the necklace of mystical guises.
Yeah. And the Tiara of Glamour.
And the Tiara of Glamour.
But I don't have any... I mean, I have it noted as being, quote, other identified items. I don't remember if we actually did identify them or not.
No, he hadn't given them to you yet.
Okay. So in that case, 20 minutes later, they will now be identified as the... I immediately forgot they were. Neckband of Mystical Guises and the Tiara of Glamour. And I will tell you what they do as soon as Zach gives them to me.
I mean, you can look them up. You can add
Are
them to
they-
the character sheet right now.
All right.
Okay, let me do that. Because I just want to see what they do. Inventory management.
So, Rikus, would you be on the deck?
Yeah, I've just been chilling up on the aft, kind of the upper deck on the aft of the ship, just kind of sitting on a barrel, leaning against the railing, and smoking my pipe, and looking out and about across the river and the areas around it. And I'm also kind of just here and there, training with simple commands on Oswald, so him and I get more familiar with all of that. So,
Alright.
which is nothing like in depth. Is more of just I give him like a signal, and
Yeah.
I see how accurately he does
so
it, kind of thing.
Edmund is
And I'm just deep in thought.
Yeah, Edmund is kind of with you. You guys aren't really speaking to each other all that much. As you kind of entered into this fog, I'll have you roll a perception check. We're probably halfway through the day at this point.
Wait a minute. Fog while on a boat?
Fog.
Oh,
Well,
no.
on
Oh no.
Should I roll a
PTSD
history
time.
check?
no.
No.
This was not a sudden storm. Oh, dang.
24.
So you and Edmund are both kind of looking out, and you actually see what appears to be, you would assume you're passing some kind of like ferry station or something. As a little ways past it, you see this small lighthouse. It does have a light shining at the top, but as you look at the base of this tower, like, it's borderline a ruin. Like, the fact that they still have a light on this lighthouse is kind of surprising. Like, half of the base is missing as it's just been busted into. The bricks are strewn about the side. And with a 24, you're actually, like, noticing there seems to be, like, flapping of, like, small black wings inside. Almost as if, like, bats have taken residence of the lower section of this lighthouse.
It's a vampire lighthouse.
Varys?
No.
That's an oxymoron.
What, vampire lighthouse? I don't think
Yeah.
it is.
Of my
Does vampires
knowledge
can't be
of
in
the
the light?
area, would I know of any
That's only something.
lighthouses or markers along the spine that would indicate our position in relation to when we have to turn sharply towards Suno?
You're nowhere near that yet. You would probably be halfway there. Like, at this point, you know, a little under halfway through the day, you would probably be hitting the point where the river makes the jaunt south towards Sargoth. As you know, there's a couple lighthouses along that stretch, kind of to mark. There's one as you're approaching it, one as you're almost there, and then same coming from the other direction, just on the other side of the river. So you would say you're just before this turn to Sargoth.
So it is not uncommon. Like I would be expecting.
You would
Some
be
form of
expecting
lighthouse.
some kind of lighthouse. You very much don't come this way all that often, especially by boat. But in the very few times you have,
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. And the last time you came through, this was not a ruined lighthouse. As Edmund kind of looks out towards it, well, that's a little creepy to find in the fog.
Yeah, I don't know how much you remember, but last time I was in fog on a boat. Well, we met Varys, the ever so lovely vampire.
Oh, yes. Varys. I don't have very fond memories of the man. He wasn't there
I'm
very
sure you
long.
don't.
He didn't show up on the boat all that much. He mostly let that panther fiend do the work. But he came to collect his due now and again.
Yeah.
And I've heard you formed some form of working relationship.
I wouldn't really call it that. It's more of a enemy of my enemy, and as far as I'm concerned, that part of that end of the deal has already been seen through. So we are on neutral grounds, although he is considered a powerful entity that we don't want to be on the other end of unsuspectingly. And underpowered, which I believe the current party would be.
Yes. I don't like it. I'll say that. But
Oh, not at all. But you play the fool's guard, and you're either a fool to fall for it or a fool to use it. So
you're a
we'll
fool
see how I've
regardless.
used.
But
Fool of a took.
I
sometimes you
submit.
must play the fool. I understand, Rikus.
As
There
far as I'm
was-
concerned, it has kept my party alive this far. So
Yes. And I hope it stays that way. I know I will likely be moved around quite a bit after this, so I'll be trying to get to know some of the members of your party a little bit, but
yes, please do. I forgot to tell you. I may have
you volunteered
already
for
given you
another
away.
duty.
Yes.
That's not
I
your
have.
place,
I
Rikus. That is for Lycus. Lycus. What? I know you sound alike, but you're not the head of this organization. You don't get
Well,
to
I
send me
haven't-
places.
I haven't had the time to talk to Lycus, but in my time coming to know the Vox and what their needs are, I believe that you would be a useful tool for them.
Well, we'll see what Lycus says after this festival.
I think your skills would suit what they need at the moment. So
Yes. Well, let's hope you're right. Perhaps Lycus will send me out there. I would like to consider myself combat ready, but if I
it wouldn't
entirely
necessarily be
honest,
combat.
I don't think I am.
In fact, not at all.
As
That's
much as
part
I
of the
want to
reason
be.
why. Okay. It's part of the reason that I put in your name for it is it's I'm not suspecting anything combat related. It's more of a supervisory training role in teaching them in the ways of, well, all the Umbral bullshit and all this other shit. So plus they have quite a number of people who are untrained and are willing to learn.
Interesting.
They need more rangers, let's just say that.
Everyone needs more rangers. Either way, this fog is making me tired. I'm gonna go below deck. You have fun with Oswald.
Heck.
He's gonna nod to you and kind of head below deck. So, with Leopold, I can get with you about what you're working on in between
Yeah.
sessions.
I was just do you want to say now that they've had their scene, do we want to have RP out telling the results of the identification between me and
yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
yeah. Well, after 20 minutes and the conversation that just happened, Leopold will finish up his ritual. Did you stay for the entire thing, Wayne?
I probably would have poked around and seen what the others were working on across the room from you, and then come back over and kind of just watched you work.
Well, alright, these are done. For the tiara, you'll hold it up. This will make you just about the prettiest thing in the room. And this, he holds up the necklace, will make you anybody else in the room. I
Interesting.
imagine they could be useful, but, well, they are yours. Is there any questions you may have about them?
I got one, and I'm just gonna kind of take the tiara, look it over, and put it on, and I'm like, "Am I the prettiest one in the room?"
Well, I think you would need to attune to the item first, and question. Wait, okay, I guess. Does the
It
item
is-
require
look
attunement
like
slash
it's-
activation?
Neither of them require attunement. As he
Okay,
sets
I
the tiara
didn't have the
on
item
his
pulled up, and I
head,
forgot.
the luscious locks become even more luscious, almost as if they're slicked back in the perfect way. His jawline sharpens ever so slightly. His cheekbones raise just a hair. His nose extends just to the right shape as to what you would want it. His face just looks like it got a full lift, just perfect symmetry in his face. His clothes, what the little bit of flecks of dirt upon them, just immediately go away. He goes from probably a subjective 5 to an objective 8.
I have a 20 charisma. How am I ugly?
It's because I don't know.
I was fucking with you. He
you
already
were
was
writing
attractive. He definitely goes to the most attractive person in the room, aside from maybe Yvonne.
I was gonna say. Well, you're definitely looking a lot better, but not quite my type. And Devon could
Yeah,
certainly be
his
a run for
type's
your
more
money.
bald.
Shut up. You're not there.
Well,
Well, actually,
boost, I suppose. Thanks for taking a look at these.
You're
I'll go ahead and just put the necklace on, and then kind of go ahead back upstairs.
Alright.
gosh, we gave
And-
Wayne a disguised self necklace.
It's
That
once per
actually-
day. It's once per day.
That's still
Yeah.
more.
That actually did just remind me that I should have a conversation with Yvonne and Theobald, because and I guess not really Craven, because we haven't really discussed logistics, because they rather unfortunately can't stay at the same noble estate that we are, but there is a certain tavern that they need to be staying at that I need to get the notes. Yes, I was hoping they could stay in a tavern called the. It's in my notes. It's called the Golden Goose. He leans a little bit towards Yvonne. Well, I got that letter from Maurice, and he and Mother will be in town.
Oh, will they?
Yes.
Will my father? Did he mention?
I didn't mention Elias, unfortunately.
I'm
But-
going to assume not. If your father will not be there as well. Yes.
Probably, no. But maybe we'll just try and see if we can, well, get you the chance to go back to Sash at least. I probably wouldn't want to travel home.
Why would I go to Zadash? Why not back to Revedan?
Well, I meant to see your father sometime in the future, not necessarily now.
I think I would like that. It has been a while. I've been sending notes, obviously, but
Yes.
it's not the same.
I will be happy to see Maurice, though. Apparently, he's just stopping in town for the festival, and then he is on his way to go meet up for the marriage prospects. Up in Nookesdale.
Of course he's getting married before you are.
Well, what do you expect when you don't exactly have Mother to go around finding all of the eligible bachelorettes to torture me with?
Oh, that one from... Oh, where was it?
Do not mention the vampire.
No, it's not the vampire. The young woman from Dista. She wasn't that bad. She at least could talk to you. Most of the other bachelorettes couldn't. I know that's a low
You do have a
bar.
point there. You do have a point there. She didn't appreciate my enthusiasm for engineering even at a young age.
Yes.
Though she wasn't quite so interested in firearms or hunting, more so architecture.
Yes.
Still though,
No need to dwell
there
on
were
the
definitely
past.
worse options.
Golden
Yes, no need to
Goose.
dwell on the
We will-
past.
me and Theovold, if nothing else, will make our way there. I know you will have many duties to attend to, but we'll
Yes.
make sure that food is ready for you, and Maurice is there with open arms to accept his brother.
Yes, well, I'm hoping that we could go there and surprise Maurice together whenever we get into Suno. I know I haven't had the chance to send him a letter back, so he wouldn't be expecting any of us.
Well,
And
more
it
of a
would be
surprise.
amazing to see him, if less so, Mother.
Yes. Well, we shall see.
Yes.
Maybe you can get
And-
your party to take your mother off to the side and have a conversation. I'd love to see how that turns out. Could
As
you
much as I
imagine
dislike,
Rikus talking with Natalie.
my mother, I don't want to torture the woman.
Oh yes. Or you could sick Wayne on them, have a sermon get preached about justice and mercy. I'm gonna stop talking now. You have a fun time with your tools. She kind of pats your shoulder and kind of begins to walk away.
Ah. Yes, thank you, Yvonne. Meanwhile, Theovold. I really don't think there's gonna be any room for gun placements on this, is there? And we'll leave the discussion
as you guys
there.
go on with that, secure linen. Are you guys just working on the note?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will have you guys roll one more, and I'll give you the note, and then we'll probably just skip to the rest because you guys will be taking a long rest while on the boat over this time.
All right. Do you want to roll? Do you want to roll secure, or should I this time?
You go ahead.
Okay.
Guidance and
Yep,
advantage.
Advantage and guidance.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ooh,
Oh,
oh,
no!
That's rough.
Only
Bro.
roll terribly. I'm not doing it anymore.
I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, no, you guys made
Dang.
no progress on the note.
Mm.
You're just like completely focused on the fact that the fucking Vicious sent you a call out post.
I'll say one
So
thing
disappointed.
that does kind of distract you guys. Secure.
worms.
As the day keeps getting later and later, and even with the cloudy gray skies, there is a like almost just a sense of darkness outside. You keep thinking back to that moment when you and Polkar shook hands, and there was that little spark. Almost, you can't stop thinking about him. You're confused why that happened, and you keep trying to explain it away. But
The kid just doesn't control his abilities.
kid just doesn't control his abilities, but it keeps coming back to you. Like, even after you've made that decision, it keeps coming back to you. Is there anything anybody would like to do before you guys take a long rest?
I'm gonna touch the knife
Nothing
at my
really is
hilt.
Okay, you touch the knife.
Yeah, if it's like a persistent thing and I literally can't get it out of my head for some reason, at some point I'm gonna say, "Are you in my head right now?"
You feel nothing. The blade does not get hotter or colder.
If you're trying to kill that child, you better cut it out. It's not happening.
It remains mild temperature.
That's it.
So, as everyone lays their head down to take the rest, Yes, Rikus.
Yeah, I guess I'd be doing it when no one's really watching.
Doing what?
I wanted to unsheath the arcane
What?
eater
Oh.
Okay.
up on the aft. Still,
All right.
kind of hold it out and look at it.
Yeah. This
And
blade with
inspect
a bit
more.
of a longer handle for a one-armed weapon, kind of this blade branching out, a little curved at, like you were saying, like a 125, 135 degree angle from the top.
Almost like
just kind
a-
of curving out.
Just-
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to set an empty box up on the barrel and then slash.
Cuts through it like
'Cause I don't. Shit.
Oswald just above you.
Shit. Holy shit, sire. Since I've attuned to it, like I kind of like am able to glean what this thing's capable of. Correct?
Yeah, you already know what it was capable of from the identify.
Okay. Cool. Still no idea what the curse is.
Still no idea what the curse is.
Well, with that, I kind of tuck behind and resheath it as I have it kind of on the back of my belt. And I go back to smoking my pipe.
All right. So we're gonna do one last scene before we end this. Secure.
All right.
As you fall into sleep, Polkar just unable to leave your mind. You finally push the thoughts out, fully forcing yourself. He just couldn't control his abilities. And you fall into a deep slumber. You awake, and you find yourself in a pitch black room. But as you're blinking, color begins to appear. The room itself is not pitch black. You look at your feet, and there is like this black, almost obsidian floor that you stand upon. And as you look around, you actually see you're on the top of a tower. Upon this flat-topped tower, there are 9 spikes rising up, probably about chest height for you, surrounding you in a circle. And as you look out towards the landscape, you see a rocky plain. And there's like a hue of red upon the sky in the distance in all directions. Upon each of these 9 spikes, you see what looks like a blood red eye with a bright red pupil.
9 eyes.
Yeah, 9 eyes around you in a circle
Okay.
on each of the spikes.
Yeah.
How does Secure respond? What is his immediate response to being here?
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. No. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Shuts eyes, opens eyes, shuts eyes, opens eyes, pinches. Wake up.
As you're doing all of this, one of the eyes that you're kind of looking out to as you're blinking, trying to wake up, you hear it almost speak to you. And then all of a sudden, in the infernal tongue, which you do speak, correct?
Yes.
You hear, hello. Like whispers going from each of the eyes as they're almost speaking to each other. My slumber will not endure forever, but in life and in death I strengthen my tether.
Is the knife on my belt?
Yes. You seem to be in plain clothes. You wouldn't be wearing your armor to bed, and you don't wear armor, I do not
Right.
believe. But you
Right,
do seem
well,
to have your standard belt, and the dagger is the only thing that you carry.
I wasn't aware that you were this sentient. What do you want?
My ire is set upon your desires. Conflict and love, they end in fire.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Am I okay? Are you? Are we chill? No. I think a valid arrangement can be made where I use you as a weapon, and that fulfills your desire to eat. Yes?
My very existence gives you power. Through it, you could conquer nations, and it would not sour.
Alright, and what if I put you the knife? I'm gonna take the knife out. And what if I put you away? I stopped using you.
The blade goes cold.
Do you have a problem with that?
You hear a chuckle from all 9 eyes. Just as they grow quiet and loud and quiet and loud. They seem to be making fun of you. As you're asking this question, you hear, in this weakness you find connection. It is a pitiful sign of a lesser reflection.
I don't know what you are. And if you are not to tell me your purpose, then why should I let you be part of mine?
A great war in the depths of 9, my soul and home divorced through time. A fallen friend, no greater a whimsy, and with time you find yourself ever the more flimsy.
I'm gonna bring the knife down. I really want to concentrate on it. Is it the knife, or is it not?
Roll me an insight check.
You wouldn't just straight up make it obvious, so I kind of had to push it. Okay. 20. What is my insights like? +3? None. +0. Okay. It's the flat roll. Ready, guys? 5!
Oh!
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
You look down at the knife, and you look up at these eyes. You don't know.
I put the knife away. Either way.
Putting the knife to your side. Still chill to the touch.
And yeah, faced with 9 eyes, circling every once in a while to focus on a new one. Well, when I wake up, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure you're not the knife. If you're the knife, I put you away. If you're something else entirely, then I'm screwed.
Just all 9 eyes laughing again. And you hear a child, a saint, a sinner, a crow, a hunter, a farmer, a lover, a foe. Lastly, a friend, upon you I will show. In this time, you'll join me, this I know. Closer and closer my time arrives. Your efforts shall fail, and I'll see with your eyes. And as that said, as eyes are spoken, all the 9 eyes begin that chuckle and are moving closer into you before all of a sudden they almost collapse in onto your body. You get an excruciating pain in your soul, and you wake up in the coldest of sweats, and the blade at your hip, like on the desk beside you, you see is red hot. And with that, we're going to end this session.
You know,
Nice. So good.
we really don't know if it's the demon or the blade at this point.
wasn't too shabby.
Yeah, I was kind of. I was kind
It
of
could be that the
expecting-
blade is yearning to kill the demon that's inside of him, or the devil.
I was
I'll say,
was kind of
I
expecting,
didn't-
like.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt the session, but I was really hoping you would see what would happen if you just stabbed one of the eyes with your blade.
Oh, I was.
I
Thinking
was
something else.
curious if you were going to do that.
was-
Regardless, creepy. We will see how things develop next session. Fucking hey, we're leaving on a 2-week break after that.
I was honestly hoping for like a Devil May Cry, like stab yourself in the chest with a knife.
That's not
Is that
my
right?
laugh. That's another
Yeah.
laugh. I was gonna say
Is
that's
that-
not me.
That's. That's
That's
not.
some
That's not
anime
Death Note.
bullshit. Either
No,
way,
I think that's Light from the end of Death Note.
That's Kira.
10 move, 10 feet.
Death
either
Note.
way, I hope you guys enjoyed the session. We will begin next session, obviously, as Sakir wakes up, but we are going to very quickly make our way to Suno in this next session, as you guys will be arriving there early afternoon on the first day of the Festival of the Rise. That being
Yeah.
at this point, today, as you guys are on Peniel 10th at this point, probably very early in the morning. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Sweet.